Ever wonder what it takes to be a professional drone pilot who has the capability of traveling nationwide? This is the truck you need, and I'm gonna go over all those little things you never even thought to consider. Let's dive in. This is a Toyota 4Runner SR5 2021 edition that has four-wheel drive capability, so you can get to those locations that you need to get to as a drone pilot. The first thing I want you to notice is there is absolutely no branding on this vehicle showing it is a drone carrying vehicle for Blue Falcon Aerial. The reason why is very important. You need to blend in as much as possible so that no one realizes you are carrying a lot of expensive equipment. Most theft is a target of opportunity, so you need to be as inconspicuous as possible to lessen the risk that you put out there. This also absolutely goes into your flight planning as well. You want to be on that site as little amount of time as possible, especially now that we're having the FCC requirements for remote ID. Some people have asked, how do you establish credibility if you don't have branding on your vehicle? Well, it's pretty clear, guys. You need to do that on other markets that does not put you at risk, such as your Facebook, your Twitter, your social media platforms, your website, things of that nature. Don't advertise yourself and put yourself in that risky position. So on to the interior. One of the major reasons why I went with a Toyota is because they're known for high reliability. Just in the last 14 months, we have driven 87,000 miles with this vehicle. I've seen Mexico once and Canada 3 times. I'm sorry it's not a brand new truck that is really nice and pretty for you. However, this one does get highly used. The first thing that I want you guys to notice is that we do have a fire extinguisher right here underneath the driver's seat. That is ready for easy access. It is a smaller one and we have a bigger one in the back that I will go over later. We also have bolt cutters at this point, and I will go into detail why we have that later in this vehicle as well. Also, if you can see right here, I have a cat tourniquet that's easily accessible because guess what, guys? A lot of times we are out there on our own. Probably the first thing you guys noticed is we do actually have a laptop holder in here. This is a RAM mount that we can manipulate as we need and make sure it's properly secured in place. We also have an Osmo Action Pro camera with 4K resolution, so we can get any sort of footage our client may need. So let's go back and talk about this computer for a second. It is incredibly valuable to have one in your vehicle because we can do quality control, check the data, process and upload data before we even leave our site. Other things to consider as a drone pilot regarding computers is having an external SSD so you have a backup copy of all your data so you don't have a critical point of failure. Regarding your keyboard and mouse, typically I like to have my mouse right here so I can manipulate it, and I have my keyboard up here on the dash. Now, huge tip. Do not leave this on your dash during the summertime. I've actually melted 2 of these already. Something else to consider is having a radio so you can communicate with your visual observer. I have a Midland base station in here, and I have 2 mobile ones in the back so we can do it remotely. As you can see, under the passenger seat, I have a power strip so we can charge small electronics and the laptop on the move. Now let's go behind the driver's door. Right here, we have an additional large Class C fire extinguisher just in case we need it for safety. You can also start to get an idea of all the wiring we have underneath this vehicle. Down here, we have an external battery pack that's able to jumpstart the vehicle remotely without assistance of another vehicle. I also want you guys to pay very close attention to the bolt cutters, the blowtorch, as well as our additional locks. This is just in case we get to a site in bad weather or when we have the wrong information and we need to cut that lock. Now, obviously, we do not do it without owner's approval, but this is a very effective method, and we are able to replace the locks for the client if they need it replaced. Furthermore, the blowtorch is used in very cold weathers when you have the lock is too cold and it's frozen over. When you put a blowtorch on it for about a second or 2, it actually releases the cylinder and unfreezes it so we can turn it correctly. Other things that I have inside of this compartment is going to be an additional solid state drive because redundancy is everything, as well as a rope that we can use for multiple different situations. We have a headlamp just in case, and we also have masks in case the client requires a mask due to COVID or whatever other reason. 2 additional things I have in this bag is going to be additional marking paint just in case we need to do additional GCPs using this, and hand sanitizer because, you know, why not? Think of this bag as our redundancy bag. This prevents us from having to go out to Walmart or something of that nature because time is money as a drone pilot. Behind that seat, that's also where I keep all my receipts so I can keep my accountant happy. Now let's go behind the passenger seat. First thing I want you to take notice, there's a lot of wires, additional wires to help facilitate our operation. As a professional drone pilot, we are charging a lot of electronics. Some people choose to use a generator, however, I do not. I will use my vehicle as my own personal generator with a very, very powerful inverter, or I will hook it up to an actual external unit with my extension cord that is easily rolled up for proper transport. Underneath the passenger seat is a 2,000 watt pure sine inverter. 2,000 watts is a ton, guys, and I very, very rarely overload this, and even then, it's a simple click of a button to reset it. Furthermore, pure sine is what you need to ensure your expensive electronics are not accidentally fried by the inverter. As you will see in this vehicle, there is wasp spray everywhere, and there's a really good reason for that. Prior to LiDAR, I was doing cell tower inspections, and wasps are everywhere when it comes to cell towers. So make sure to have wasp spray if you are going to a cell tower. WD-40 is another tool that you can use to loosen up locks as well as open doors that are heavily corroded due to being exposed to the elements. The last thing that I want to bring up behind the passenger is actually this trash can. It's like 10 bucks on Amazon, and it is an absolute lifesaver to keep our vehicle clean. The first thing I want to discuss is, where do you sleep as a drone pilot? Well, there are a few options and methods of thinking. Option number one, and my favorite, is actually sleeping in your vehicle. There's 3 reasons why I like to do it. Reason number 1 is cheap. Reason number 2, I don't like to carry all this equipment up to my hotel. And option number 3, I can actually sleep nearby my site so that I can just get up and get right to work the next morning. One of the reasons why I love a Toyota 4Runner is because it has a very large back cabin area. I've removed the back seat so I am able to lay entirely flat. As a 5'10" male, I can actually fully extend out and not have to worry about being cramped while in there. You may be concerned that you will not be able to do it because what about all that equipment? Well, if you're not in the front seat, you use that as a storage compartment overnight and just move everything out there so you have plenty of room to manipulate. When it's cold outside and you're sleeping in your vehicle, make sure to have plenty of layers. The top layer is my protective layer to keep everything underneath it protected from the equipment, and the ones underneath it are essentially what keeps me warm at night. I also have a mattress on the very bottom, and we have a electric heated layer that is battery powered that is able to sustain itself overnight. When sleeping in your vehicle, these are some other things to think about. 1, have a pillow so you're comfortable at night. 2, make sure to have highly tinted windows so no one knows you're there. In my vehicle, I have the absolute maximum legal limit for my tent so no one recognizes I'm sleeping in my vehicle. 3, you need to be as inconspicuous as possible. Your entire goal is for no one to even know that you're there. Regarding places to stay, the number 1 rule is don't get in trouble. Make sure you stay legal in this, okay? Here are some options that you absolutely can consider while doing this. Truck stops, good option. Walmart parking lots, sometimes. Cabela's parking lots, also another good option. Rest stops, things of that nature, absolutely, all right? National parks are a great option as well, and if you're a military veteran like myself, you can actually get a free pass to all the national and state parks across the entire nation. Really, really good opportunity. There's also a really cool mobile app that you can look into. It's called iOverlander. This app is a user-generated database of places all across the country in your location, wherever you're at. Search by your area, and users will tell you where they have stayed overnight, what's safe, how much it costs, and a ton of different things. Now, there are many situations in which camping does not make sense. Hotels are another really good option, but I'm gonna give you some really good tips on this. Number 1, use Priceline. Guys, I'm telling you, Priceline is absolutely amazing. I have saved thousands and thousands of dollars just by getting their rates. If you're in an area on a last minute, make sure to book that and you will get some really, really good deals. Tip 2 for hotels is grab one of those big trolleys they offer at the front and use them to pack all your equipment and take it upstairs. Tip 3 is actually really important, whether or not you're using your truck to camp or you are in a hotel. 1, make sure to have your own laundry pods. This is such a small thing, but they overcharge incredibly high when you are at a hotel. Number 2, make sure to have quarters at all times. Most hotels do not give change despite their washer and dryer requiring change. So always have quarters when you go into a hotel. The next part about that is have a laundry bag where you can consolidate all of your dirty laundry. This is the bag that I take out with me while I'm traveling. Typically, I have approximately 1 week worth of clothes, and I will just constantly clean them all up. Also on this bag, I do have a full trauma kit just in case something does happen. All right, in this kit, you're gonna have your tourniquet, you're gonna have your dressings, you're gonna have your major trauma things that are required in case something bad does happen. Being a drone pilot, a lot of times we are in some very remote locations and it can take a long time for help to actually arrive when you need it. And just to be clear, when I'm saying trauma kit, this is not a first aid kit for boo-boos. This is in case you need critical care now. So let's go into what's actually in it. As you can see, we have gloves, we have tourniquet, we have hemostatic as well as compressed gauze, a CPR face shield, some Band-Aids, along with Tylenol, Pepto-Bismol, cough medicine, ibuprofen, and smaller things of that nature as well. I'm sure you guys have already noticed, this shelf is definitely aftermarket and did not come from the dealership. This helps ensure that I have the storage space that I need and properly organized. Now, let's go ahead and magically move everything that's on this shelf down here. So I do want to bring up one thing real quick I forgot to mention. This right here is a padding. The reason why I have it there is because if you're sleeping here, I may or may not have hit my head on that a couple times. So make sure to take proper precautions so you don't hurt yourself. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about that goes on this shelf is going to be these two hotspots. These are two different carriers, so I have service anywhere across the country, no matter where I'm at. It is not uncommon for me to push through 500 gigabytes of data every month on these things. So while on the road, you never really know when your next meal is going to be. So because of that, I like to keep extra food in the vehicle. I like to keep some peanuts, some protein bars, some chicken, canned of course. We do have our fruit and also some tuna. Whatever it makes sense for you, just make sure it's non-perishable. Next thing I'm gonna go over is having these extra battery packs. As you guys know, as drone pilots, we have a lot of different electronics, and this gives us that emergency power in case we need it. If you're in the military or an avid outdoorsman, you know exactly why you need baby wipes in the field. For those of you who may not be, essentially, these are something you can use to take a shower and also be readily available just in case duty calls. The rest of the items on the top shelf I reserve for all of my tools. Anything and everything I might need while I'm in the field. So to further elaborate, we do have a Cobalt toolkit that is collapsible and has everything that I would need just in case you do need any sort of tool. Also a bag of specific ones that I've used in my industries. And this one is essentially all the chargers, extra controllers, drill bits, ratchet straps, all sorts of good stuff that has become useful sometime down the line. And also I have a ton of zip ties because they're extraordinarily useful in a lot of different situations. Obviously, an incredibly important thing you must always have in your vehicle is a ton of water just in case you're stranded or if you're thirsty. So something else I do want to bring up, I've sort of avoided it up to this point, is our cable management system as a whole. So this is a cable management thing that you can use for all your smaller cables. And of course, we also have our major power tower over here. So that takes that 2,000 watts of energy and puts it into a simplified location where you can plug all of your different drone components into. Like I said before, guys, 2,000 watts is plenty of space. I've never had any issue. We still have a long way to go in this video. However, if you are liking this content and do want more, please let me know in the comments below and absolutely make sure to like and subscribe. Furthermore, if you do want to get the product descriptions and a better list of all the different components that I'm showing in this video, make sure to leave a comment down below and tell me that so I can take the time to actually list them in the description. Also, we do have another vehicle in our fleet that is a truck. And if this does actually sound like something you guys want, we'll do an exact same video of his vehicle as well, just to show you a different variation. Now, during my drone inspections, this is typically the uniform that I wear going from site to site. The main points here are a collared shirt of some sort with my branding. You also have sort of jeans, loose fitting, nice and comfortable. And of course, we have the waterproof boots that make it really good for all-terrain environment. Now, when you are doing drone operations, the uniform changes quite substantially. Number one, make sure to always have your Part 107 remote pilot certificate. It's extremely important to always have that at all times. Furthermore, you need to have your hard hat. Make sure you have a safety vest. It's a really, really high quality one. I recommend you guys invest in the good one early. I had a really bad one for 9 months and I severely regret it. Next thing you're gonna have is a smart controller with your lanyard so I can walk around and it stays secure. And lastly, I do have this really cool tool belt that I have on my waist. This allows me to keep all my tools readily accessible in case I'm doing cell tower work, doing LiDAR work, or any other work that may be out there. Now, for cold weather environments, obviously it's all about layering. However, these are some key things that I think are extremely important as a drone pilot. Number one, these fingerless gloves are amazing, guys. They're photography gloves, and you can either have your fingers exposed or they close right up to keep them covered. Next off, we have this Carhartt. It is a Class 3 Carhartt, and it is absolutely incredible. I've taken it at negative 20-degree temperatures, and I have been perfectly fine. And of course, lastly, make sure to keep your face as well as your ears covered, guys. Those extremities absolutely are at risk when you are doing extreme work. When we started with LiDAR, we recognized there was a very limited amount of information. Our goal at Blue Falcon Aerial is to demystify the drone industry with free, quality content that you can trust. So right now, I need you to do 3 things for me. 1, like this video and tell YouTube this is really good content. Number 2, subscribe to this video so you don't miss the next one. And 3, comment below what you want us to cover next. We've got a lot ahead of us. Get ready for one hell of a ride. Let's get to work.